name, to be honest, in regards to Covey, you, Covey, and that's only because earlier in the conversation when Dean was up here, he specified that in regards to like certain things and like certain like Black people that he listens to, like as content creators, it was you. And I asked him, is there anybody else? He says, no, you are the main one. Right. So when Lava was making her assertion about, like the few Black creators that some of these white people will only reach out to, be careful with that. And I was like, oh, Athena, because that's or Cubby, because that's exactly what the conversation was, to be fair. But go ahead, Wawa, talk your ish.
Yeah, I think you got it right towards the end. I had a list of things that I wanted to address. One of those things was that if you are consistently the Black golden voice being called upon by white people to abridge their transgressions between our communities, that you should consider why and that you should be cautious. And somebody coughed and said your name because Dean happened to have mentioned your name. And I...
No, that was definitely me. I did it.
Somebody coughed and said your name. And
so that's when Not a Safe Space jumped in and was like talking when Wawa was talking.
I think they were clocking it because Dean specifically said your name. And I said, I don't like that they do that to you all the time. Specifically, they do. I don't like it.
Does that to me all the time? I'm confused.
White people say your name and you might not even be around, Athena, but this isn't the first time, Athena.
Wait, which white people? I'm confused.
Dean said it today.
Yeah, but Dean and I are friends. That's what.
Yes, but that was when he was specifically as. He's unpacking his racism.
Yeah, but I'm a bit confused as to how I'm being tokenized when
I didn't say that. They coughed your name out, baby. I said something about what Black people should be cautious about.
I also would never mind.
No, go ahead, say it, safe space. Like it's an open, listen.
You gotta be a Black friend to have a Black friend. So I agree.
Yeah,
you gotta be what?
You gotta be a Black friend to have a Black friend.
Gotta be a Black friend to.
Did y'all hear that? You gotta be a Black friend to have a Black friend. That was Not a Safe Space. And that's when pretty much everything starts to go downhill. But Athena was very respectful, very calm.
But who was the one saying that? The Black friend comment?
Not a safe space.
Oh, okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay.
I mean, it's just that. You don't see yourself as tokenized? Neither do I.
Oh, okay. No, I don't see myself as tokenized, actually.
Yeah, only Black people can be tokenized.
Are you shitting?
Wait, what do you only Black
people?
Wait, Jasmine, can you mute? Thank you.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean by only Black people can be tokenized?
I'm not sure which part of that is hard to comprehend.
Are you saying I'm not Black?
Oh, I've already said that.
Why would I not be Black? I'm confused.
I only consider Americans Black.
What?
So dumb as fuck.
Yeah, and that's when it went downhill. And that's when Athena pretty much turned up on him.
That's crazy work.
And they said you were being aggressive? That's laughable.
Yeah. Where's the hostility?
Like, can we take a moment to appreciate the fact that she said that ignorant shit? And like, even Black Americans originate from the continent. So you sound like so fucking stupid. Like, are we being so fucking for real? Like a whole continent of niggas and ain't none of them Black because they weren't human trafficked to America. That's a crazy.
Yeah. So can you continue playing it, D? I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm gonna rewind it a little bit, and then because I know some people are like replay it, so I'm gonna restart a couple of seconds.
Black.
Oh,
wait, hold on.
I think somebody's playing the video.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean by only Black people can be tokenized?
I'm not sure which part of that is hard to comprehend.
Are you saying I'm not Black?
Oh, I've already said that.
Why would I not be Black? I'm confused.
I only consider Americans Black.
That's so dumb as fuck. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's your opinion, but I mean...
No, literally, that is dumb as fuck. Because when we look at the transatlantic slave trade and Western European colonization, it was applied to Black people on like a general scale and not necessarily only African Americans. And I think if you think only African Americans are the only Black people out here, then that's like the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
So wait, hold on, because safe spaces. I'm gonna let her speak, but what is Black culture, Cubby?
No, we're not talking about Black culture. We're talking about Black people.
No, that's what she's that is what she's talking about.
No, but she said you can't be tokenized if you're not Black. Let's not beat around the bush.
She mentioned Black Americans to be to
No, but she said you cannot be tokenized if you're not Black.
Oh, that was her being sarcastic. Okay, yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. So if she's saying you can't be tokenized if you're not Black, that means you're dismissing my Blackness, which is crazy as fuck.
Yeah, and
like ignorant.
What's so crazy as fuck is that you allow Irish to sit on your fucking panel and did nothing about it and then pretend
absolutely not.
That was Chi Chi or whatever. That was her chiming in. Let me hit play.
I let everybody else address on my panel. I let everyone else address on my panel.
You were speaking. I really appreciate.
Yeah, you see how you guys have more energy for Black women.
I need you guys to stop. I need y'all to stop over speaking each other
because I haven't even been able to finish what I'm saying before.
So let safe space and Covey. No, I'm just saying everybody's like that's jumping in. Covey's trying to respond.
But you didn't say anything to her when I was just speaking and she spoke.
You were done. You answered about the Black thing.
You spoke over me.
Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and apologize. I didn't catch that. You must have been muffled or something. I really didn't catch that.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. But
go ahead then. No, I'm just saying. Go ahead then. If you
feel, but I literally just said I only consider Black Americans Black, which would have to do with Black culture. You don't have Black culture. You're not Black to me. So you can feel how you want to feel, but it doesn't change anything. And you're saying, oh, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Yes. We all know you get tokenized by white people. We've all seen it. It's not hidden.
I don't get tokenized by white people.
What does it mean to tokenize?
Again, I don't get tokenized by white people.
What does it mean to tokenize?
Yeah, when you are trying to... when you have allegations of racism, for example, or you're trying not to hold yourself accountable for deconstructing your racism, so you use a Black friend to make it seem as if you aren't racist or you aren't wicked or you're doing enough work. Yeah. So no, I'm not being tokenized.
No, hold on. So when Dean is asked, how are you deconstructing your racism? And he says, I talked to Athena. That's not tokenization?
Yes, because he's my friend.
Is that or is that not tokenization?
No, that's not tokenization because he's my friend.
You're disingenuous as fuck and you're a fucking liar.
No, you're disingenuous as fuck because you don't know what Black means.
I don't know what black means. And that's
no, you don't, fine. Because when it comes to Blackness...
Your issue here is you just described tokenizing.
Because you're interrupting her when she's responding.
Tokenizing as someone who's supposed to be deconstructing their racism, using a Black person to do it. And then when I say, okay, so when we ask Steve, you're deconstructing your racism, and he says, oh, I talked to Athena, that is tokenizing. So you're genuinely just not understanding how you even understand tokenizing because you just described exactly what it is and then said he wasn't doing it.
No, again, so first of all, I do fully understand what tokenization is. And if I were to be tokenized, I would have understood because I'm educated enough when it comes to racism. Second of all, when it does come to Blackness isn't, I don't know why you're
can we not interrupt each other?
This entire time she's interrupted and
I am very much smart. I'm pretty sure.
Can you please stop interrupting as well in safe space?
Can you stop muting me?
No.
Can you stop? Hold on 1 second. No, I need y'all to stop. I'm probably going to drop both of y'all because this actually isn't productive at all.
I don't even understand why you brought her up here.
Y'all are both getting... Well, because she wanted to address what was said, specifically about what I said about Wawa, and then you jumped in, to be fair.
Which had nothing to do... Technically, I said it. When Wawa made the comment, I said Athena.
Yeah, I did not say
technically. No, I did too. So
Can I respond to what she said with regards to Blackness?
That doesn't change anything.
Yeah. Okay, so when it comes to...
That's fair then. Go ahead.
Right.
Yeah. So when it comes to Blackness, it doesn't necessarily only have to do with Black culture. As a racial category, it was applied to everybody of African descent, including people in the Afro diaspora and on the African continent as well. So there has been no point in time where Blackness as a racial category has only specifically been applied to African Americans. Maybe when you're talking about Black culture, fine, but as a racial category, it is applied to everybody who fits those phenotypical characteristics, right? So for you to sit here and try to tell me that I am not a Black woman when I fully present as Black and I am monoracially Black, to me is actually fucking wild and insane, and kind of shows how much of a dumb fuck you are.
Yeah,
That's
you're
really
allowed
wacky.
to have your little.
Yeah, you're a dumb
That's
fuck.
very
That's
wacky.
what you are.
You're allowed to have your feelings, and
It's not a feeling,
this is why
it's a-
he's getting muted.
I
You're
dropped her
allowed
for
to
that, y'all. Like, come on.
They dropped her after that. They dropped her.
Where was I being hostile?
Nowhere.
Girl, I'm still trying to figure out how the fuck you gonna say anybody that's not American is not Black. Are we being so fucking for real? We don't fucking originate from here. Like, you sound stupid as fuck.
I'm sorry, my
Oh.
And
jaw
I'm sorry, are we really
literally
talking about Black culture
dropped.
as if there aren't multiple versions of Black culture? Like, yes, African American culture is one Black culture, but are we going to say that there aren't Caribbean, like, Black? There's no Caribbean Black culture. There's no
Okay.
Gullah Geechee Black culture. There's no Louisiana Creole Black culture. Like, can we really, like, get our fucking brains together? Like, it's giving slick brain. I'm so fucking confused.
Mind you, the Caribbean Black people are the majority. We literally take up more. Half the people that are Black in America have some sort of Caribbean descent. We are the majority. So I don't know what is up with with a lot of African Americans, and they have this main character. Like, there's not slave descendants in the UK, slave descendants in the Caribbean, slave descendants in like random countries. It's not just America. So I'm confused.
I'm confused. Like, I want to just say this as an African American, I'm confused. If I'm not African, if my people didn't come from Africa, didn't get enslaved from the continent of Africa, where the fuck did I come from then? Who is my descendants? Where did we come? If I'm not from Africa, I don't get it. And then they were talking over each other, so it's unorganized. I'm just confused. Athena said that they were friends. She was friends with Dean. And they
No,
couldn't
but
accept that.
so it would be considered tokenization if, let's say, for example, he were to try to claim that he's not racist based on the fact that he's friends with a Black person. If he were to claim like not to be held like accountable or not to hold himself accountable because he has a Black friend, if he were to bring it up by himself, if he were to randomly, like while in the middle of a conversation, say, well, you know, I have a Black friend, that would have been tokenization. Him specifically, like, being asked that question and then him responding to it, had it actually been tokenization, they would have told him that to his face. But why are you such a coward ass little audacity to say that to me? Because technically, if I'm being tokenized, aren't I the victim?
Yes, that would be absolutely valid. And I'll be
Okay.
honest with you, Athena, I was there the whole entire live. Like, when Dean came in and his explanation and everything, first of all, I was, on the whole rah-rah thing, because keep in mind, Auntie ain't no creator. Auntie ain't no, platform person. I'm a 44-year-old woman that just hop in these lives, right? And watch what y'all have to say. And I appreciate y'all young Black women, like, really doing y'all thing with this. And when Dean came in, it was a lot of questions being asked over and over again by one of the girls, Ice or whatever. And then when the conversation moved to what he was, talking about who he listened to as a Black creator, and obviously you're going to listen to your Black friend who is telling you things that are, microaggressions, things that you need to learn about the Black community. That will be your go-to person that you want to get information from to know if you're on the right side or the wrong side of things. So the whole tokenization part in itself just threw me through a complete loop, because that would be common sense about anything. You know, if I got a friend that's a doctor, of course I'm gonna call my friend that's a doctor to get my advice from. It's no different when you're trying to learn anything about anything that somebody else specializes in. But when they were talking about you after you left the live, I was completely jaw dropped because here we are listening to Black women complain about them, you know, having microaggressions towards them from a white woman, but then they turn around and, you know, start making microaggressions toward you and Julianne. And that was in itself crazy because if you're being victimized, then you feel it's okay to go victimize other Black women. Not only that, they're not even here to defend themselves. And then when they are in the, you know, in the space, you're not even allowing them to even speak their piece. But the say that you with Black skin are not Black was just where I completely just lost the support, not against the whole Z thing because she's, you know, obviously did what she did.
Oh yeah,
But
Z is
as
Z is a dumb
yeah,
like
but
racist.
that whole we're on a, you know, Black women band together. Well, we can't all you know, band together as Black women and have a voice louder if we're going to be talking over each other and then at the same time trying to tear each other down. I wanted to come in and say you were not wrong. Yes, you're being gaslit. We all heard it. The comments were off. As soon as they dropped you, the comments turned back on, and everybody in the comment was W Kobe, W Kobe, W Kobe. Because yes, we were on your side. We didn't sit there and act like that shit did not happen. It happened. It was not only disrespectful to all of the rest of us Black people who may have different regions where we come from. We're still Black. We're still Black faced, and we're still Black facing the world. And if we're not going to do this together, it's a done deal, period. We can't be in-house fighting and saying who's Black, who's not, who's being tokenized just because we're friends and have voices in white spaces. As someone who worked in corporate America, I'm the voice in, you know, the Black voice in white spaces. So I completely understand being on that side. Now, when they say, well, oh, I'm not, you know, racist because I got a Black coworker I hang out with, yeah, obviously then they're tokenizing me. But because I'm their go-to person doesn't mean I'm being tokenized. It means they're actually coming to me for information because they want to know what my opinion is on certain subjects that they know they have no information about. So anybody who is taking that position, oh, well, Kobe's being tokenized by D. No, they trust her opinion. And if you are not smart enough or jealous enough to that you feel like you're not being utilized by in white spaces or on these bigger platforms, that's a you problem, not a Kobe problem. So for all of y'all that's out here listening and thought y'all ate on that panel, I'm sorry. You literally lost my respect as a Black woman, a Black older woman at that. Because I'm not y'all age. I'm much older. I'm 44. So, and for us, we went through these same type of things without these spaces to speak in. We had to just suffer in silence and talk amongst each other and, you know, do grassroots stuff and all that. We didn't have the platforms to actually be able to speak out against it. So I'm glad that y'all are using that. But when you're using it against another Black woman and questioning her Blackness when she's literally out here arguing up and down day and night with these races while y'all sitting up here just talking about it and not hosting a panel that where you fighting up against it, how dare you? How fucking dare you? But that was my piece.
I
I want to
appreciate you,
say,
Coco.
hey, I want to say the reason I started recording was the way they were talking to Tashika. Like, I didn't like that. And so I kind of figured like it was going to get really weird when you start talking. So that's one of the reasons why I started recording. But after they dropped you, I feel like they bullied Tabby into saying you were being tokenized. Because just listen.
But you saw that I waited, right? You saw that I waited until she was done, even though she insulted me.
I only dropped her because of that insult.
But let's
come
be
back up if she
clear.
wants to. But if you want to respond, you can go ahead.
Clear?
Hold on.
Why did you drop
Athena,
her?
didn't I tell you that
Nope,
earlier?
nope.
That
I cut
Geek
it.
said that?
Yeah, I cut it off right before that. But yeah, I feel like they bullied Tabby into agreeing that you were being tokenized. Because at first she was trying to say no, and they kept saying, well, by her definition and this and that. And she was like, yeah, well, I get like it gave Mean Girls.
Nah, can I just say, Geek was here. She tried to come up here. Fuck that. You're never gonna come up on my panel before. Like, again, the last time you did this shit, Geek, the last time your messy ass did this shit and went on live to try to defend Harry and Chris, and I brought you up on the panel, you gaslit the hell out of me. And then after you gaslit the hell out of me, you went back to your panel, and then you literally allowed your mod. Yeah, not too much on Tabby, please. Tabby, not too much on Tabby. Tabby's not a problem, y'all. Just wanted to say that. Not too much on Tabby. Tabby isn't an issue. The issue here is fuck Geek, fuck Meadow, fuck Not a Safe Space, fuck Chi Chi, fuck anybody who agreed with them. Literally, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all hateful bitches. That's what I'm gonna say.
After all, for real. But I'm not gonna lie, I am sorry to hear that. I just got on the live and I don't really know what all this is about, but I hear like a lot. So there's that. I'm sorry that you were attacked like that. But I do have a question about your relationship with her Stacey. Because being honest, my personal experience with her as a viewer, I just don't think she's a good person at all.
Wait, who's talking? I'm sorry. Nobody hears you, girl. Like, we're listening to the music. I don't know if you hear that. I don't know who was talking. Nobody hears you. But what I was going to say was, fuck all of y'all. I just wanted to say, literally, F all of y'all. Y'all are cowards. Hold on. Let me show you how cowardly they are. Let me show you how pathetic they are. They just had to come at me, but then tag him and say, love a good steak and lobster. What? You decide to be hostile towards me, but your pathetic ass.
That's unhinged.
Your pathetic ass begging for a cash app. Begging for a fucking cash app. Begging to be a friend. Please notice me, senpai. That's literally what this is. That's literally what this is. Please notice me, senpai. I beg you. You're accusing this man of tokenizing me. You're accusing this man of tokenizing me. But then you tag him and beg him for money. And then beg him for a lobster and steak. But then when I come up, you do that. I'm sorry. Fuck y'all. Anyways, I'm done. I'm crashing out. I'm low-key crashing out. I know that I'm crashing out, y'all.
But that is really giving very much. That is giving very much like scraps from your table. Like, please give me scraps from your table.